Luke chapter 9. Synkälesamenos te tuus dodeca edoken autois dynamin, kai exousian epipanta ta daimonia, kai nosous therapeuen. And having called together the 12, he gave to them power and authority over all the demons and sicknesses to be healing. Kai apestelen autus, and having sent them, gerussen, to be preaching dön basilean tu teu, kai iastai, to be preaching the kingdom of the God, and to be healing. Kai epen prosautus, and he said to them, Murden, airete estern hodon, be ye taking up nothing into the journey. Möte rabdon, möte böran, möte arton, möte argurion. Neither staff, nor pouch, nor bread, nor silver. Wallet, pouch or wallet. Möte ana duo kitonos, eken. Neither between two tunics to be having. Kai es hern an oikian eselterte, and into which house you might enter. Eke menete, kai eketen, exerkeste. There be ye remaining, and from there be ye coming forth, or departing. Kai hosoi an mer dekon tai humas, and as many as would not be receiving you, exerkomenoi apotes poleo sekenes, coming out from that city, gaiton goniorton apoton, poton, humon, apotinasete, es marturion, epautus. Also the dust from your feet be ye shaking off into a testimony against them, upon them. Exerkomenoide, dier conto. Katatas gomas euangelizomenoi kai therapeuontes pantaku. And going out, they went through according to villages, announcing the announcement and healing everywhere. Ökusen de Heroides hotetrarchus ta ginomena panta. And Heroides heard. Heroides the tetrarch heard the things having become, all the things having become. Kai diapore diaton legeste. And he was in perplexity through the to be being said hypotinon from many from some hoti Johannes Gerter eknekron, that Johannes was arisen. Johannes arose from dead ones. Hypotinon de hoti Heleas, but by some that Eliyahu, Epaner, appeared. Allonde hoti propertustis ton archaion anester, but of others that a certain prophet of the ancients arose. Eben de Heroides, and Heroides said, Johannen ego apekepalissa. Johannen I beheaded, diste estin, hutos peri hu akuo toiauta. Who then is this, and who is this concerning whom I am hearing such things? Kai exerte idenauton, and he was seeking to see him. Kai hypostrepsantes hoiapostoloi diögö santo autoi hosa epoiesan. And the sent ones, having returned, were related to him what as much as they did. Kai paralabo nautus hypekorsen katidian espolin kalumenen Bertsaida, and having taken them along, he withdrew according to himself, by himself or apart, privately, espolin kalumenen, into a city being called Bertsaida, hoide okloi gnontes ergolutus anautoi, and the crowd, having known, followed him. Kai apodexamenos autus elale autois peritus basileas tu teu, and having received them, he was speaking to them concerning the kingdom of the God. Kai tuus crean ekontas terapeas iato, and those ones having need of healing, he healed. He was healing. Herde hermera erksato glinen. But as the day began to be reclining, proseltontes de hoidodeca epon autoi, the 12 approached and said to him, the 12 having approached said to him, Apoluson don oklon, send away the crowd, hina poreutentes estas kykloi kuomas, kai agrus katalysosin, kai heurosin episitismon, so that, having gone into the surrounding villages and fields, they might lodge, and they might find provision. Hoti horde eneremoy topoy esmen, because here we are in a desolate place. Epen de prosautus, but he said to them, Dote autois pagen humes, give to them to eat. Yourselves, you yourselves give to them to eat. Hoide epan, but they said, Ukesin hermin pleon artoi pente kai ictues duo, and there is not with us more than 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Merti poreutentes hermes agorasomen espantaton laon tuton bromata. If whether at all having gone, we should buy into all this people food, we should buy foods into all this people. Son de Jose Andres pentakis kilioi, for there were about 5,000 men. Epen de prostus materta sautu. But he said to his disciples, his pupils, Kataklinate autus klisias anapente conta. Recline ye them into reclinings about 50. Kai epoiesan hutos kai kateklinan hapantas. And they effectuated thus, and all reclined, and reclined all. Labon de tus pente artus kai tus duo ictuas. And having taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, anablepsa seston uranon eulogersen autus. Kai kateklasen, having looked up into the sky, he blessed them, and he broke. Kai edidu tois mater tais, paratenai toi okloi, and he was giving to the disciples to set, to lay about to the crowd. Kai epagon, kai ekoritas tersan, pantes, and they ate, and they were all satisfied. Kai erte to periseusan autois, glasmaton, kopinoi dodeca, and they took up the excess to them of broken pieces, 12 wicker baskets. Kai egeneto entoig enai auton proseukomenon. Kata monas synösan autoi hoimatertai. And it happened in his being praying, by himself, the disciples gathered to him. Synösan, together with him. Kai eperotersen autus legon. And he asked them, saying, Diname okloi legusin enai. Who are the crowds saying me to be? Hoide apokritentes epan. But they having answered, said, Johannen don Baptistern, Johannen the baptizer. Alloi de Lean, but others, Eliah, alloi de hoti propertestis, don archaion anester. But others, that a certain prophet of the ancients arose. Eben de autois. But he said to them, Humeste, diname legete enai. But you, what are ye saying me to be? Petros de apokrites eben, don Christon tu seu. And Petros, having answered, said, the anointed of the God. Hode epitimersa sautois parengelen merdeni legen tuto. But he, having charged them, commanded to nobody to be saying this. E bon hoti te ton huion tu anthropu polla paten, kai apodokimas ternai, apoton presbyteron, kai archiereon, kai grammateon, kai apoktan ternai, kai tei tritei hermerai, eger ternai. Saying, having said that, it is necessary the Son of the Man to suffer many things, and to be tested from or rejected from the elders and the high priests and the scribes, and to be killed, and they shall and them to kill hang on and to be killed, and in the third day to rise, to be raised, to rise. Elegen de propantas, and he was saying to all, Etis tele opisomu erkestai. If any is willing after me to be coming, arnesasto heauton, kai arato ton stauronautu, katemeran. He let him deny himself, and let him take up his cross every day, daily. Kai akolute tomoi, and let him be following me. Hoskarean tele yeten psyke nautu sosai, apolese outen, for who would want his soul to save? Who would want to save his? Whoever would want to save his soul, apolese outen, shall lose it. Hostan apolese iten psyke nautu. But who would lose his soul, heneken emu, on behalf of me? Who so se outen, this one shall save it. Digar opeletai anthropos, gerdesas ton kosmon holon, heauton de apolesas gemiotes. But who is profited? But what is a man profited, having gained the whole world, but himself having lost, or having forfeited, or being forfeited? Hosgard an epais kunteime. But whosoever should be ashamed of me, gaitu semus logus, and my words, tu ton hohuios tu anthropu epais kuntersetai. This one, the Son of the Man, shall be ashamed. Hotan eltei entei doxei au tu, kai tu patros, kai ton hagion angelon, when he should come in the glory of him and of the Father and of the holy angels or holy messengers. Lego de humin alertos, for I am saying to you of a truth. E sintines ton autu hester koton hoi Ume geusontai tanatu heosan idosin dön basilean tu teu. There are some of the ones having stood which should not taste death until when they should see the kingdom of the God. Egeneto de metatus logus tutus. And it happened after these words. Hose hermerai octo, about 8 days, kai paralabon Petron, kai Johannen, kai Jakobon, anebe esto oros proseuxastai. And having taken along Petros and Johannen and Jakobon, he went up into the mountain to pray. Kai egeneto entoi proseuxestai auton to eidos tu prosopu he autu heteron. Kai hohimatismos autu leukos exastrapton. And it happened in his praying, the the appearance, the form of his face, another, the form of his face, another. Okay. And in his praying, the form of his face became another. Kai hohimatismos autu, and his clothing leukos exastrapto, radiated white. Kai idu andres duo synelalun autoi, and behold, 2 men were speaking to him. Hoitines san Moses, kai Elias, who were Moshe and Eliah, hoioptentes, endoxoi, elegon, dön, exhodon autu. The ones having appeared in glory, saying, speaking of his exodus, hern ermelen blerun en Jerusalem, which he was about to be fulfilling in Jerusalem. Hode Petros kai hoi syn autoi ösan bebarmenoi hypnoi. But Petros and those with him were having been weighed down by sleep. Diagregorusantes de edan dön doxan autu, kai tus duo andras tus synestotas autoi. But having awoken, they saw his glory, and the 2 men, those standing, those having stood with him. Kai egeneto entoi diakoritestai autus apautu. And it happened in their departing from him, eben ho Petros proston Yeshun. Petros said to Yeshua, Epistata, Master, Galonestin hermas horde enai. It is good us to be here. Kai boyers omen skernas tres, and let us effectuate 3 tabernacles or tents, booths, mian soy, kai mian mose, kai mian leai. One for thee, and one for Moshe, and one for Eliah. Me edos holege, not having known what he is saying. Dauta de autu legontes, egeneto nepele, kai epeskiatzen autus. But these think of him saying, these a cloud became, and it overshadowed them. Epobertersan de entoi eselten autus estern nepelen, and they feared in their entering, in their entering into the cloud. Kai pornern egeneto ecters nepelers legusa, and a voice became out of the cloud, saying, Hu tosestin ho huiosmu ho eklelegmenos. This is my son, the one having been chosen. Autu akuete, hear ye him, be ye hearing him. Gaentoi genestai tern pornern heureta Jesus monos. And in the happening of the voice, they found Yeshua alone. Kai autoi esigersan, kai udeni, apöngelan enekenais tais hermerais uden, horn heorakan. And they were silent and announced to nobody in those days nothing of what things they had seen. Egeneto de ters hexers hermerai, gatel tonton auton, apotu orus synöntes en autoi oklos polus. And it happened in the next day of them coming down from the mountain, a great crowd gathered to them, gathered to meet them. Kai idu aner apotu oklu eboesen legon, and behold, a man from the crowd cried out, saying, Didaskale, O teacher, deo maisu epiblepsai epiton huionmu. I am begging thee to look upon my son, hoti monogenes moyestin, for a one of a kind he is, my only child. Kai idu pneuma lambane auton, and behold, a spirit is taking him. Kai exaipnes kradzen, kai sparasse auton meta apru. And suddenly he is crying out, and he is convulsing him with foam. Kai mogis apokore apautu, and hardly it is departing from him. Syntribonauton, breaking him. Kai ederten ton mater ton su hina ekbalosi nauto kai uke erdunerte son. And I begged thy disciples that they might cast it out, and they were not able. Apokrites de ho Jesus epen. And Yeshua, having answered, said, O genea apistos kai diestra O faithless generation, and twisted up, distorted, having been distorted. Heos potte esomai proshumas, until when I will be with you, kai anexomai humon, and shall sustain you. Prosagage hodeton huionmu. Lead, lead to me thy son. Eti de proser komenu autu. Erxenauton do daimonion kai synesparaxen. And yet of him approaching, the demon burst. The demon burst him and convulsed him completely. Epetimersen de ho Jesus toi pneumati toi akatar toi. And Yeshua rebuked to the unclean spirit. Kai iasato ton paida, and he healed the child. Kai apedo kenauton toi patriautu, and he handed him over to his father. Exepleson to de pantes epitoi megaleote tu teu. And they were being amazed, astonished, struck with amazement. All were being struck with amazement upon the majesty or greatness of the God. Panton de talmadzonton epipasin hoi sepoie. And of all being amazed upon all things which he was doing. Epen prostus materta sautu, he said to his pupils, Teste humes esta ota humon tus logus tutus. Set ye into your ears this word. Hogar huios tu anthropu mele paradidostai es keras anthropon. For the Son of the Man is about to be being handed over into the hands of men. Hoide ögnoun to hröma tuto, kai ön para ke kalymenon apauton hina mö aiston tai auto. And they were not understanding this word, and it was being concealed from them, so that they might not perceive it. Kai ephobunto, and they were fearing. Erote sayauton peritu rematos tutu. They were fearing to ask him concerning this word. Eselten de dialogismos en autois. And there entered a reasoning among them. Totisan medzon auton. The who might be the greatest of them. Hode Jesus etos ton dialogismon tes cardias auton. But Yeshua, having known the reasoning of their hearts, epilabomenos paidiu estesen auto parheautoi. Having taken a child, stood it beside himself. Kai epen autois, and he said to them, Hosean dexertai tuto topaidion epitoi onomatimu. Whosoever should receive this child upon my name, emedeketai, is receiving me. Kai hosan emedexertai, and who should be receiving me? Deketai don apostellantame is receiving the one having sent me. Hogar mikroteros ekpasin hymin hyparkon hutos estin megas. For the littler one, the littlest among all of you, the one being littlest among all of you, this one is great. Apokrites de ho Johannes epan, and Johannen, having answered, said, Epistata, Master, edomentina, epitoi onomatisu ekpallonta daimonia. We saw a certain one upon thy name casting out demons, kai ekolusamen auton, and we forbade him. Hoti u akolu te metermon, for he is not following with us. Epen de prosauton Yeshus, but Yeshua said to him, Me koluete, don't be ye forbidding. Hoskar ukestin katsumon hyperhumonestin. For not those, for whosoever is not against you, on behalf of you is. Egeneto det entoi symplerus taitas hermeras tes analempseos autu, kai autos to prosoponautu esterisen tu poreuestai es Jerusalem. And it happened in the fulfilling together, in the days being fulfilled together of his taking up. Also he made strong, made stable, strengthened his face of the going into Jerusalem. Kai apestelen angelus prosopu autu, and he sent messengers before his face. Kai poreutentes eselton espolin samariton, and having gone, they entered into a city of the Samaritans. Hoste hetoimasai autoi, to make ready for him. Kai ukedexanto auton, and they did not receive him. Hotito prosoponautu ern poreuomenon es Jerusalem, for his face was going into Jerusalem. Idontes te hoi mater tai Iakobos kai Johannes epan, and the disciples Jacob and Johannen, having seen, said, Kyrie, O Lord, tele se pomen pur katabernai apotu uranu kai analosai autus. Are you wanting us? Are you wanting we should say, speak fire to come down from the sky and do away with them, consume them? Strapies de epitimus en autois, and having turned, he rebuked them. Kai eporeutersan es heteran gomen, and they went into a different village, another village. Kai poreuomenon auton, and of their going, entoi hodoi, in the way, pentis prosauton, a certain said to him, Akoluter sosoi hopu and aperköy. I will follow thee where thou might be departing. Kai epen autoi ho Jesus. And Yeshua said to him, Hai alopekes poleus ekusin. The foxes are having lairs. Kai tapetena tu uranu kataskernoses. And the birds of the sky, nests and campings. Hode huios tu anthropu u keke pu tern kepalern klinöy. But the Son of the Man is not having where the head to recline, to be reclining. Epen de pros heteron akolutemoi. And he said to another, Be thou following me. Hode epen, but he said, Epitrepson moi proton apeltontit tsapsai ton pateramu. Permit thou me first, having gone, to bury my father. Epen de autoi, and he said to him, Apes tus necrus tsapsai tus heauton necrus. Leave the dead to bury their own dead. Sude apelton diangele dön basilean tu teu. But thou, having departed, be announcing, be thou publishing the kingdom of the God. Epen de kai heteros. And another also said, Akolutersosoi. I will follow thee, Kyrie, O Lord, proton de epitrepson moi, apotaxastai, tois eston oikonmu. But first, permit thou me, apotaxestai, having withdrawn, to those in my house, permit me to bid farewell or to withdraw to those in my house, or bid farewell to them. Epen de prosauton ho Jesus. But Yeshua said to him, Udes epibalon tön kera autu eparo arotron. Kai blepon esta opiso eutetosestin töi basileai tu teu. And Yeshua said to him, Nobody having thrown his hand upon the plough, and seeing into the things behind, is well placed in the kingdom of the God.